Well, a few days ago, we dug up some of the carrots, make me a little space to walk through there, and it's time to plant the potatoes and onions. So I'm going to do like Donald done and try to do transplants this year. I've always done onion sets and done fair with those, so I've seen what he's doing. I've seen the success he has, and we're going to dig up some of these onions right here and just see what they look like right now. Kind of small. These are, I think, a sweet Spanish onion. They're not too bad. I'm just trying to get some right here on the end that's a little bit bigger. Getting ready to plant potatoes, and I figure I'd go ahead and see if I get enough of these to get me a little piece of road going. But these are going to be my transplants. I'll just cut all the tops of them off and throw some fertilizer in the row and set these things down in there and see what we can come up with. Well, after I got them trimmed up, cleaned up, watered the roots down real good, this is what I got. About 30, 32, 33 little onion transplants. So that'll be enough to get me started and see how it does. And this was the tops of them, little green onions. I'm sure the resident chef will be able to find a use for those. I'm getting ready to go plant potatoes. This is my Red Pontiacs. I cut these up yesterday. Most of these had really good eyes on them, a whole lot better than what the potatoes I had last year. These look nice. Put them in these milk crates so they can get some airflow through it, and go ahead and let these things dry up, heal up on the outside a little bit. I've been told that was a good idea. I did it last year and made a nice crop. Even got these were some, been saving these a while. I believe these came out of the kitchen. Planted something like that last year. They didn't have a blossom on them, but they made a whole lot of potatoes, so we're going to try it again. And this year's Kennebecks are going to come from last year's. These were saved up under the house. Were nice and cool, so chopped these up yesterday as well. We're going to plant some Kennebecks, some Red Pontiacs, and some sweet Spanish onions, and see if we can beat this rain that's coming. Well, this is where we're going to plant potatoes and onions at. It's not where I had originally intended to do it, but I decided instead of following up potatoes with potatoes, I'm going to take this spot right here. This is my preferred garden spot, little area that's about 75 by 75. And I dumped 10, 11, 12 truckloads of horse manure on this last year, and this garden just went crazy. I made so much stuff down here in this one little spot, I couldn't give it all away. So we're going to plant some potatoes and onions down here, and I'll worry about planting squash and cucumbers and tomatoes and all that stuff in one of the other spots. But as you can see, I got my rows laid off, got a nice furrow right in the middle of each one. I'm going to throw some fertilizer down in it and drop some potatoes in it and cover them up and get on back to the house. Alright, now we're going to just drop potatoes down in the row. help me cover them up, girl? Huh? You gonna help me cover them up? Alright, you go ahead and start covering them up. Well, ended up with 6 in a piece of these Red Pontiacs rows, and what I did was take them little reds come out of the kitchen and I finished out the row. This is the 7th row right here, and what I have to do is make a mental note of this so I can keep up with how these things grow a little bit differently. Need to make me a line right there. And see, these are the ones that already have eyes all over and great big old chunks coming out the side. I think they'll be just fine. So I'm going to take the rake and put a little light coat of dirt on top of them. We got probably 3/4 to an inch of rain on the way tonight and tomorrow morning. So I don't want to cover them up too much because that furrow is going to collapse on top of them anyway. And then I'll try to get some onions in the ground. Well, I went ahead and put the onions in the ground. Being as how I had to get down on my knees and crawl around like a little baby, I figured I'd go ahead and get that done. Y'all didn't really need to see that. But here's my little onions. I got 33 of them. And they're planting like Donald does, not real deep. I went ahead and knocked that furrow down after I put the fertilizer in it. And then planted the onions kind of on top of it because I didn't want the dirt collapsing around it and making that bulb even deeper than it really needed to be. So all in all, not too bad. Got my little onions in the ground and got 7 rows of Red Pontiacs planted, about 450 foot give or take. And I have taken my grade A garden, my best prime planting spot, and turned it into a daggone potato patch. Can you believe that? Hey folks, went by the post office this morning and I got this package right here. Address is Hamburg, Louisiana 71339. That would be down Donald's way. And it said from the Bayou Gardener himself. So I think I know what it is, but just to be sure, we're going to open this thing up and just see what the big fella done sent me. Smells a little strong. Now I know why. Look what he sent. Look at these onions right here. These are some of his candy onions that make them big softball size deals that he's been growing down there. And smell pretty good. Not bad at all. These are beautiful. Look how big they are. See how the roots are on them. Just beautiful. So much bigger than what I planted out recently. So what I'm gonna do is take these things right now. We had a nice rain Sunday. We got close to an inch, something like that. So the ground is really wet down in the garden spot, and we're gonna take these things down there and go plant some of Mr. Donald's onions. Well, here we are at the garden spot. Here's where I'm gonna plant Donald's onions. And this right here is the little piece of row that I started last Saturday. Today is Tuesday. So we had all that rain on Sunday. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and stick these things in the ground real quick. I've already put my fertilizer in there and got me a nice little stretch there to put the onions in. So I'll stick them in the ground. Shouldn't have to worry about watering right now. We've got some more rain on the way, I think sometime tomorrow night. And we'll see what we can do. Well, I forgot to bring my little hand spade down here. So being as how the ground is just so soft, we're just going to take my hand, make a little hole down there, and stick these things in the ground. Get ready for some rain to come on and make them do what they're supposed to do. There's some real good soil down here. This is my best garden spot. So if I don't make anything, these don't work out. It ain't Donald's fault for sure. And this is the last one right here. That's about 60 of them, plus the 30 some little small ones I planted Saturday, of the little sweet Spanish onions. That give me almost 100, not quite, about 95 or so, give or take. Well, that's gonna do it. Got everything planted. Nice looking row right there. That's some beautiful onions. Kind of feel like a kid in a candy store today, going to the post office and seeing a package from the Bayou Gardener himself. Maybe more like a kid in the candy onion store. But I can't thank you enough, Donald, for sending these up here to me. And for the folks who see this video who don't know who Donald is, again, I tell you, look up WebCajun or go to thebayougardener.com. That fella knows his gardening. You can learn a whole lot from him. And I certainly appreciate what he does. Thank y'all for watching. Take care, and God bless us all.